Welcome to the 200 Movie Challenge, and this is episode 35. Holy shit.
Mhm.
I know I keep saying this, but every number just feels surreal to me.
There are TV shows that have never lasted this long. Like there are shows that are not 35 episodes long. I
We've
know no
lasted
one's
longer than
listening, but
Firefly.
holy shit.
Oh, that's sad. Oh,
Yeah. Obviously, we don't have the production value, but still, my God, there's a lot of episodes of this.
there is. Anyhow, yeah, for those who are new to this or just kind of figuring things out, yep, we're just watching 200 new movies this year. We are in the middle of spooky season, and yeah, let's just see
Yeah.
how things go,
Sure.
Soto. I want to talk about your
Mhm.
first movie because you chose something. I just never thought you were going to go this direction this year. So
Yeah.
why don't we talk about it? Let's start with you. What was the first movie that you watched this week?
So the first movie I watched was the movie La La Land, which was back in 2016, and it's a musical.
Soto, you watched a musical on purpose by your choice, not because Chad
I
chose
did.
it for you. Because you okay? Just checking, just
I
making sure.
did.
Okay, keep
I
going.
did. I mean,
Keep-
it was on my radar for a while. Obviously, I professed my love of all things Ryan Gosling on these episodes before, and so I was like, okay, like a Ryan Gosling musical set in Los Angeles, where I had my younger years. Um, and also had Emma Stone, who I like as well. I figured, okay, let me give it a shot. I had been waiting for it to become free again because the last time I looked for this earlier this year, it was only for rent. It was hard to get, and so when I saw that it was on Netflix, I said, I gotta jump on this now. I know, very spooky season to be watching a musical, but I was like, okay, I'll give this genre a chance. How bad could it be? And I'll tell you right now, okay, the first song, I was almost like, okay, I might be out.
Oh, really?
Because I was like, oh, this is so much a musical. I think I fucked up. Because it's like, people dancing and doing their thing. So it starts off and the scene is like a Los Angeles traffic jam. Um, and I don't know if you've ever been out to the West Coast or gone
It's
to
been a long
LA in
time.
your life. But it is, 6 lanes of just atrocious traffic, smog everywhere. That's just what, Los Angeles is. Very bad public transportation. And so then all of a sudden, people get out of their car and they start dancing. And they're like dancing on the roofs of their car and they're in traffic and they're like, oh, it's another sunny day. Because the thing with Los Angeles is that every single day is sunny. Like, of course, there are times where it rains occasionally, but if you can imagine 75 to 80 degrees and sunny every single day, even through Christmas and whatnot, that's what Los Angeles is like. Growing up in Los Angeles, I was always watching movies and wondering what it was like to live in a quote unquote real place that had seasons because I didn't understand that like I thought that was like a fake thing because that just doesn't happen in Los Angeles. Like it's the same season all the time. All the time. And to people from New England, I think the people I've talked to, and you could tell me different because I know you from the Midwest too, which is its own brand of fuckery. It's people in New England are like, oh, that sounds fucking great. I would love it if it was like that. It's kind of not. For me personally, when every day is the same, it's really depressing. That it like if every day is rainy, like I get into a rut. If every day is fucking sunny, I get into a rut. I feel like you need seasons, and I feel like Los Angeles has that special kind of hell where it just never changes. So. Uh, I almost just turned this off when it first started. But I remained strong, Chad. And I said I'm not gonna walk out of a movie out of my living room, so I'm gonna see where it goes. And I'm happy that I didn't because I actually really enjoyed the shit out of this movie. This movie, if I can describe it in a sentence, it is like it is for people who love movies, if that makes sense.
Okay.
um they're into movies in the movie, like it's like kind of celebrating movies as an art form. It's shot in this beautiful CinemaScope. The colors are absolutely gorgeous in this movie. Like the shots, everything. Listen, I'm not gonna fucking lie to you and say I remember the music of this movie because I don't. Like I remember the one piano line. And if I could just, I guess, go back and tell you kind of what the overall story is, it's kind of just there's Emma Stone's character who's a struggling actress in Los Angeles, and then there's Ryan Gosling's character who is a struggling artist who's trying to kind of reopen a jazz club. So already you kind of have these romantic ideals of people who moved from other places to Los Angeles, and they're just trying to make it work. And they meet each other, and obviously in a series of circumstances they fall in love. And so the story is not very original, but the way that it's shown is absolutely fucking spectacular. And everything, the set pieces, the money that it went into this, like this is like, again, I said this I think last time with Phantom Thread, where it's like you're in a cinematic experience. Like if you've watched enough movies, you know what that means. Like when you're just watching something, you're like, okay, this is pure fucking cinema that I'm witnessing right now. That's what this movie was to me. Really, after I got through that beginning part and I kind of, went along the flow of the movie, I mean, it was fantastic. I mean, Emma Stone is an amazing actress. I've seen her in other things like Zombieland, I think is what I remember her most in. And I think there was this movie about she had the Scarlet Letter. I can't remember this movie, but she was great in it too. But she is an amazing actress, and she was awesome in this movie. And just the way that this movie was done, the way it was shot, the whole entire vibe, I really liked. And this is a movie that I would actually buy this as a musical, and I would watch it again.
Now I have yet to see this, surprisingly, because it's a musical, and I mean, I was interested when it came out, and then it lost its way because the whole joke or reason we're doing this because we haven't watched a lot of movies in the last 10 years. But yeah, no, this movie was actually up for a lot of Academy Awards. I don't know how much you looked into.
I'm not surprised.
It won Best Director. Emma Stone did win Best Actress.
100% believe that.
And won a few others.
Oh my gosh, she was amazing in this.
And it was nominated for Best Picture, and so was Ryan Gosling, but they didn't win. I don't know what won that year. But yeah, no, I remember it being up for a lot. But yeah, Emma Stone did win.
She was great. Best Actress. Like, wow, not knowing that and just finding that out now, like that makes so much sense because her overall acting and it was just phenomenal.
So I looked this up.
Really, really good.
And I forgot about this controversy because obviously, the night's going on and they're about to name the Best Picture, which is always the final award. And that's right. Mm-hmm. Whoever read the card said La La Land. And it was they were mistaken because the movie Moonlight actually is the winner. So they announced the wrong movie. I remember that because there was a little shock and they had to almost like a Steve Harvey movie. Because I was trying to figure out what movie, and then it says, yeah, Moonlight won 3 awards, including Best Picture, after La La Land was mistakenly announced as the winner. And then that clicked. I'm like, that's right. I forgot that fucking shit happened. So yeah, no, I mean, it was nominated, and I think a lot of people thought it was going to win. But either way, this I might have to see somewhere down the line because, like I said, it is a musical. It did look good from what I saw of the previews. It just looked amazing. So I just haven't yet. But
if you like movies, if you like movies, and I've heard you might like, I think you like this.
Do I? So what streaming service did you end up watching this on?
It's on Netflix.
Okay.
And, I was gonna say, I know we're mad at movies, but we still do love them.
Oh yeah.
We're just in a fight with movies right now.
No. This is our makeup time. This is we're just figuring things out. It's no longer complicated. True. But you know what? I didn't see it. You did. So now the question comes. So as you're looking through your massive list of movies, where on your list is La La Land gonna rank? Because it sounds a lot higher than I think you expected going into it.
Did, and I'll tell you right now, it's the number 3 movie. Number 3 movie.
You said one. I've seen. All right, so we're putting this at number 3.
Number 3, everyone, not Inception. It's number 3. Yes.
Wow. A musical. Soto is in your top 5. Actually,
Watch
Sinners.
it.
I mean, I guess Sinners you can kind of say it, but I don't know. But
Oh yeah, it does have music in it, but no, like people don't just break out into fucking random non-diegetic fucking songs, right? Where it's like they're not aware that each other's singing in the movie. They're just
mhm.
singing at you, the audience member. Uh so yeah, I really really liked it. And I'll tell you what, now because of this, I'm gonna probably watch another movie I've never seen. It's a musical. I think we've probably talked about it, but I've never seen this movie, but it's on HBO, and I'm going to see it as part of my final movies, and that will be Singing in the Rain. I've never seen it.
I don't think I've seen that either. I think yeah.
I'm
I
gonna
mean, a
watch
lot.
it.
There's a lot of classics because I know you saw Lawrence of Arabia. There's a lot of classics I haven't seen, and I think we kind of talked a little bit about it, just because it's past, before we kind of got into films, and it's hard. It's hard to go back and watch. So, but no,
Yeah,
I'm curious. All right, Singing in the Rain's in our future. That's
I'm gonna watch it, man, and I'm gonna watch that. I mean, La La Land was just again so fucking well done. Like you just like I said with Phantom Thread, you just knew you were watching a professionally made movie, and it was just really really well done. So and much more, Whiplash I liked a lot, and the ending is fucking fire. But there are parts of Whiplash that I'm like, but La La Land, it kind of it just has a very sort of instant classic kind of a vibe, if that makes sense.
it does. It does.
I recommend it.
So let me talk about the first movie that I saw this week. And it
Hmm.
actually was a sequel. And about 4 to 5 episodes ago, I saw the movie Megan. We talked about it. We talked about how AI was taking over, blah, blah, blah. And so
Right.
obviously, when I saw this on Peacock, now I, before, so yes, I saw Megan 2.0. So when I reviewed the first Megan, I even said, I'm like, hey, this isn't a good thriller. And I knew there was a sequel. I said, this end, like, Megan could have ended and everyone would find there's no questions, there was no need for a sequel. They're like, well, just in case.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's things that they threw in, but the way it ended, it's like, okay, this can be fine. But I knew there was a 2.0. And I looked at Jill and I'm just like, do you have any interest in seeing the second one? Because she was a little disappointed in the first one because I think because first Megan was listed kind of as a horror, it was listed as a horror. So I think we were
Yeah.
expecting more
It
of a
had that vibe.
thriller, which I still enjoyed it, but yeah, it was not more. It was more of a thriller than a horror. So I'm going to say something, Soda. Now, first of all, as I say this, do realize I am not comparing or saying these are as good to the comparisons, but the way Megan went from the first movie to 2.0 is kind of the same thing that happened when Terminator went from the first Terminator to T2 Judgment Day. And I say that
Wow,
because remember,
that is a loaded statement.
but no, but think about this. Let's talk about the first Terminator, and I'm going to
Of
because if
course.
you really look at the first Terminator, a lot of people there's people
Hmm.
that actually say that's kind of a horror movie, a horror thriller, because you got
Oh,
something that's
dude,
hunting you.
definitely.
So, but that's the way Megan was a little bit.
100%.
Just didn't do it as well. But that's the way Megan was kind of portrayed. AI taking Megan 2.0. It's like fuck the thriller, fuck all this shit. Let's just make this an all-out campy fun action film. Now, again, kind of like what Terminator 2, they're like, let's just have fun. And also because now the robot's kind of siding with the main person. So let me backtrack a little bit and kind of just give
I'm gonna
the.
go back to that comment you made. I'm gonna save it in my mind about how they just had fun in Terminator 2, but I'll save that for
No, but
after.
I. But it's we had fun. We had fun watching an action film because that's all action films
Hell
are.
yeah.
Like you don't take them seriously. You just enjoy the moment. Don't think about the story too much. But you know what I mean? Because the first one was intense. It was like holy shit. And then the second one, explosions. Soto, I know you love explosions. I know you. T2 is great. But anyhow,
Oh,
so real
oh,
quick,
you're
yeah. So the
triggering me. I want to get into a debate so bad right now, but I have to stay on topic. But Saturday, we'll talk
Wait,
about
wait,
this
wait. So
Saturday.
hold on. No. What's the screw it? What's the quick debate? What's the thought?
Well, because I get the analogy that you're trying to make with Megan and then Megan 2.0. Fine,
Mm.
that's great. But Terminator 2 is one of the greatest movies ever made.
Correct.
And you're making it sound like it's just an action movie. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Terminator 2 is not just an action movie. That shit's serious.
Okay, but is it a horror? Like the first one? Is it a horror thriller?
No.
Exactly.
I will tell you that. I did get nightmares when Sarah Connor fucking dreamt that she was getting blown up by a nuclear bomb. That shit was fucking scary. She turned into bones and shit. You're right. It's not horror, but there were horrific elements about it. But from a tonality shift, you're 100% spot on. Like, yeah, Terminator 1 and Terminator 2 are 100% both different kinds of movies.
So, in the first one, what they kind of quickly show is like the boss's assistant who gets sick of everyone. He sells the plans. And then everyone dies. Megan, not everyone dies, but like all these people, Megan goes off the wall. She dies. They kill her. Blah blah blah. So the second one now is the main woman, Gemma, who created Megan the first one. It's kind of, I think this is like a few years later, and she's now still doing the technology thing, but just more promoting the fact it needs to be safe for children. Well, let's monitor, almost like a 180 change, and so great. Now all of a sudden, the government though has their own robot called Amelia, which they based on Megan. They're the ones that got the plans. So now you have this government controlled who has gone AWOL, who's doing her own shit. Because she was supposed to basically kidnap the scientist, and she ended up just shooting him dead on and taking everything in there. So they're like, oh shit. And they think this woman, because she created Megan, was part of it. She's like, I don't even know what the fuck's going on. Now, story reasons, there's kind of like from Terminator 2, they're like, oh, how convenient this is. Megan did upload herself into like the computer system where she's living, and slowly she realizes she has to kind of rebuild Megan to catch Amelia. But now Megan's kind of just more friends with them, kind of is doing quirky jokes, not like the hasta la vista baby, but just kind of joking with them and stuff like that. But dude, it's just so fucking fun. Like the first scene. Now this is, I think this is I know we watched the unrated version. Like she's, before she kind of, the tonality kind of gets settled down because, she has the no killing humans. What does that sound like? Mm-hmm. She punches a guy's head clean off. And I'm just laughing. I'm like, holy shit. So yes, I'm not saying, again, I'm not comparing Megan. This is not as great. Terminator 2 is fucking awesome. But my point is now that you got the robot that's got to work with, the people that they were basically terrorizing in the first one because there's a bigger threat. But I will just say, if you want a fun action movie, you don't even need to see the first one. This was just, I just enjoyed it. The story's just there. You're not there for the plot. You're just there just to go for the ride. But yeah, I don't know what more I can say. I don't want to, because it's basically the steps she takes, because she has to earn the human's trust or Gemma's trust, because she's in this little like doll toy thing, and she's like, is this really what we're doing? But it slowly, plays up, and yeah, so she's, basically got to save the world, and she's like, I'm not doing this to protect the niece, which was her incentive in the first one. She's like, I'm doing this because this is right, just right. So again, she's learning. Now, I think there is a spin-off, and I don't know what it's about, because there's nothing from this movie called Soulmate, which that's in the Megan universe, but there's nothing here, so I don't know much about
Megan universe.
Well, no, because I don't know what else to call it, because it's not a Megan movie, right. but no character, so I don't know what it's based on. It's something. So, and they did leave it wide open. There could be a third one, not that there needs to be, but fuck it, they probably will do it because it's making money and stuff like that.
Money, yeah.
That's the most important thing. But where the first one, going back to the fact that it was more of a thriller, and it more dealt with the fact that what we allow technology to do with our lives, to help run our lives. And the whole thing was watching children, because that's why Megan was built. She was paired with her niece because her niece just lost her parents, and kind of like, I hate to say glorified babysitter, but the fact that she knows like, hey, don't let any physical harm come to her, or verbal harm. And that's how she takes those incentives and goes way above and beyond, to the point where she's thinking the aunt, she's like, you're not qualified to take care of her. I'm going to be like the new mom. And that's where it's scary in the first one, because you're like, well, I can kind of see this fucking happening. Like we're letting AI take over.
Yeah.
Whereas this, like, okay, nope,
this is now.
This is not the same. They're trying to, nuclear weapons, this and that, and it's just. But for an action film, Soto, this is fun. This is the definition of a popcorn flick. I'm not saying this is the best thing I've watched. This is not as good as I like thrillers. I like suspense. Those are my type of movies. So yes, I did enjoy the first one more. But the second one, I'm like, me and Jill had the same question. Like, how the fucking, what are they going to do now? And that's why we're like, well, we're both curious. I'm like, fuck it, let's just watch it. Because again, I said it, first one ended. If there was never anything more, it would have been fine. It wouldn't have been like,
Yeah.
oh, no one's going to debate the ending of Megan. They're like, oh, fuck, the robot died. The aunt and the niece have kind of come to an understanding, and that's about it. Life goes on. The world understands technology. Yeah, keep it under control. But the fact that the
We're
second
not
one,
learning.
no, they're not.
We're
Well,
not
no,
learning
the
this.
government created this kick-ass other one. So yeah,
Oh my god.
but again, like I said, just the change in tone was just hilarious to me. But the action scenes were just fun, and like I said, there is a lot of similarities to Terminator 2. Again, her being told, basically programmed not to kill any humans. Unless absolutely necessary, like if, blah, blah, blah. It's just the same thing as the T800. But anyhow, where do I rank the Soto? Now, I will say this. Anyone that saw the...
fun.
Yeah, no, you don't need to see the first one to see the second one. I mean, it helps a little bit, but if you want more of an action movie instead of a thriller, just skip to number 2. If you want something that's more of a thriller, see the first one and see the unrated versions. I don't know. I always prefer the unrated movies to regular movies. They just give me the extra blood. Sorry, I'm scrolling through my list here. I'm more on the top, but not that far up. All right. I'm going to put this... All right. I just reworked my 20s last week, so this feels right now. I'm putting this at 26. It's going to be right underneath Thunderbolts and right above Wreck. And I think the first Megan is number 15 for me. So I'm just kind of scrolling up to see where that's at. That's kind of where I'm feeling. Again, because it's a fun movie. And I think it's enjoyable and not a lot of story. Just if you just want a fun action movie on a Saturday night, check this out. You're not going to get scared. You're going to laugh. Yeah, that's all I got to say. There's not... Well, no, the first one, you look at it, you're like, well, this shit could happen. We give way too much control to AI. ChatGPT runs a lot of lives. More AI videos are coming up, and you're just like, how? I know I shared one with you, like Macho Man being Mr. Rogers, which is just hilarious. I had to share it. But I'm just like,
dude, there's so many. It's like it's insane what you can do with like this Soros shit now. Like I saw stuff where like Stephen Hawking was going off top rope and
yes, with Helen Keller
on WWE. Yeah, and I'm like, what have we become? We are not learning our lessons, people. The machines are coming for us. We've seen so many fucking movies where the machines are coming for us, and we're like, it would be really great if we made that shit real.
That's what we're doing.
Like, we should. That's a great idea. Oh, Terminator 2, Skynet takes over. Okay, are you taking notes? That's a great idea. Let's do this.
Oh my god.
Dude, you know what, our robot overlords, I welcome you with open arms.
Robots, aliens, we just don't want to work anymore. Just let us live in our homes for free. Do what you gotta do.
Like be pets.
Just
we'll be your pets. You can watch us, and just make sure that we're fed and our toilet works when it needs to and all that. Take us to the vet and stuff. I'm ready for it.
But let's talk quote unquote a little more serious of a horror film for you, Soto.
I guess.
Hence I said quote unquote. No, I can't do the quote. I'm not on camera. It's not like they can see me do the quotations with my fingers.
Right.
You actually watched a movie that, not that I'm not surprised you haven't seen. I guess a franchise you haven't gone through as much, and I know we're going to talk a lot about this. A lot about this on Saturday. But first of all, tell us why you chose this movie, and then let's go from there.
So tis the season, right? And we're in the middle of October, and I've noticed that I really haven't watched a lot of movies in this franchise, like you were just saying. I've seen the first one, and the movie that I'm talking about is the Friday the 13th movie series. Seen the first one a long time ago, but I grew up a fucking Nightmare on Elm Street kid. I didn't watch this shit. if I did watch, the closest I watched to Jason was Michael Myers and Halloween. I watched those to a point because then they got kind of dumb. But I never was a Jason kid. Never was. Friday 13th, I mean, obviously the iconic look of Jason um, is undeniable, but I never got into those movies. And so when I saw that uh, Friday the 13th 2 was available streaming for free, and I can't remember where I saw it. I may have seen it on HBO. I'm not sure. But I said fuck it. Might as well like tick that off and see what's going on with that. Let's see how this lore begins. And I don't think I have to fucking explain Friday the 13th's plot here to anybody. I don't think that that's necessary.
Nope.
If you haven't seen Friday the 13th, like check it out. If you don't understand Jason, like check it out. But I just have to tell you, and I have to ask you, like, what the fuck is this movie?
So it's been
Like, this movie was fucking dumb.
So
like,
I grew up both a Freddy and Jason fan. I saw a lot of the movies. I believe it or not, Michael Myers and Leatherface, not so much. I think that more came later on in life. But growing up, I was definitely Jason and Freddy. I think I've seen all their movies. I know we're going to talk again this Saturday about franchises as a whole. So getting to Friday the 13th Part 2, anyone, fuck it. We all know the end of the first one. That Jason's not killing the first one. You know, it's the mom. There's
sorry.
Sorry,
everyone.
You're like 40 years too late, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But and if you really think through, like, well, how did the mom? Anyhow, whatever. Again, in the 80s, these are the kind of movies they make. But yeah, then they introduced it as Jason, as a killer, and he's become now this iconic killer, one of the top. We kind of talked about Mount Rushmore. Just people just recognize him. Now, as far as the quality of movies, well, this is where, again, I think we're going to have some fun this Saturday because I have a lot of questions, but I don't, right now we're on the second one. Yeah, no, it is crap. And you asked me, now my question to you is, do you plan on watching any more? Because how far do you?
Yes, I do.
So here's what I will say to you. And here's the interesting thing, which you may or may probably don't know because you didn't follow, you don't know much about the weird lore. Friday the 13th Part 2, 3, and 4, which is called the final chapter, all take place.
Final chapter?
Well, I'll explain that in a second. But 2, 3, and 4 all take place back to back to back. It all takes place in 1 week. So the events of 3 happen.
Wow.
So it is all in one timeline. And I don't want to spoil. So yeah, 2 is kind of the introduction to Jason. He has the bag hat head over.
That one.
One of the more popular, I say popular, in this franchise, better final girls. Because she uses a different reasoning to try to defeat Jason at the end, as corny as it is. So I'm going to just say this right now, and I know the third one is worse. And yes, you already know he gets the mask in the third one. And I actually met the actor, or not met. I played a game. I shouldn't say met. I played a game with the actor who, the reason Jason got the mask. And I will say this: Friday the 13th Part 3, you're going to probably mock more because it was shot in 3D. Because that came out in a time when everything was about 3D. So you're going to see shots and you're like, it's going to look bad because you're not watching it in 3D. And the story is bad. I only remember a couple things. But the fourth one, which was the final chapter, it was supposed to be the end. And then, but it kind of, that to me is the best Friday the 13th film. It's got Corey Feldman. It's got Crispin Glover.
What the fuck?
Corey Feldman is he plays Tommy Jarvis, and anyone that knows Friday the 13th, Tommy Jarvis is in a few films, kind of, I guess, Jason's biggest nemesis at that time. And I'm going to talk a lot more about this Saturday, Soto. I mean, I don't want to try and spoil things for you, but 4 had the budget because they thought this was going to be the end. Then they come up with 5. Now, I'm going to spoil 5 for you. Why? Because 5 is so you mentioned you remember like Halloween 3, Season of the Witch?
Yeah. Yes,
Michael Myers
like its own thing.
That's what 5 is. Jason's not in 5. The lore of Jason still being alive is in 5, but Jason's not in 5. You think it's Jason this whole time, but it turns out just to be a regular person. That's why that's kind of considered the worst. And then in a weird way, 6 and beyond, he becomes like a zombified. He accidentally comes back to life, and those are even shittier. 6 isn't bad. 7, a very intriguing final girl because she has telekinesis powers. And 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, and 9, 2 of the worst ones. It's Jason in space It's just fucking hilarious, because
I
obviously,
think I saw Jason in Space. I think I saw that one.
that
Yep, I
that
did.
stands
I
on its
definitely
own.
saw that one.
So my suggest watch as many as you want. But if you're going to go, at least get to 4 is all I'm saying. Because 3, Soto, now going back to 2, you're right. I don't remember shit about 2. And again, it's been a while. I know his look. I know the final girl, the mom's head, all that stuff. It's bad. And I'm going to tell you right now, Soto, 3 is worse than 2. And I'm just preparing you. You just need to get to 4. Once you're done 4, you make that decision. Okay, and
I mean, the Corey Feldman part sounds intriguing. So
he's one of the main characters. Crispin Glover is more of a side character, but there's an iconic Crispin Glover moment that I do now. If you don't know it, like if you haven't seen the memes or the TikToks, not that you would, you'll know. So at least to get to 4. After that, I would say you're fine, because you've seen Jason in Space. That's the only that. Because to me, that is the true end. And a lot of fans, a lot of people will say 1's the best. But to me, I think 4 just had the better overall story, better overall characters. They were more, obviously, like we compare Terrifier 2 to 1, like better acting.
Yeah.
So you can tell most of the money went to 4. But 2, you just found it. So there's my rant to start things off. At least get to 4. But 2, Soto, I agree with you. It's the start of Jason, but it is. These movies are meant to be dog shit. And I don't know what's more to say to that. So
They won that award
yeah.
because that is some that was some bulldog. I mean, it wasn't like unwatchable. Okay, I've seen some unwatchable movies this year.
Mm-hmm.
It just was kind of like, wait, this is it. And so I probably will watch 3 because now I kind of want to get to 4. I don't know. I just thought Freddy Krueger was much more of terrifying. Freddy Krueger talks,
Correct.
unlike Mike Myers and Jason.
Yeah.
Like Freddy Krueger is like psychologically like horrifying as well. So I don't know. I mean, I just didn't find again, it was the camp counselors and they get killed again, and there's a lot of odd nudity in this one too, because I get it. It's an 80s slasher movie.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, I was kind of like, huh?
Yeah.
So, but anyway, that won't stop me from watching shit.
No, and I that's what I think I didn't want to say too much when you were texting me. And I'm like, if you're going to go down this road, at least get to 4. And we're going to talk a lot about the Freddy and Jason movies, probably more so Saturday, because I do have opinions about a lot of Freddy movies. And I know, so it'll be a fun debate. But you know what? This is about your enjoyment too. And by this, now I got to ask you before you kind of get to the ranking, because I know I kind of took over just because I know a lot about Jason. I've watched all the multiple times. Unfortunately.
I'm glad you did.
Is there one memorable thing from this movie that you just like, or is it just all this movie is kind of typical for you, like a typical 80s horror?
When the 2 teenagers where they were fucking on the bed, and then he like harpooned both of them into the bed.
Mm-hmm.
That was memorable. Also, the guy in the wheelchair getting machete to the face.
That was this one. Yeah, I remember that now. Now that you said, I just didn't know what movie. They all blend together.
That was memorable. I'm sure they do.
So I do. Once you said that, I remember that kill now. I 100% remember that kill. Both of them actually, but that one.
Like, his mother's head. His mother's head was like in his little like shack, and the girl put on the sweater, and it's just weird.
Yeah, the psychology part was weird. I mean, it's all.
Yeah, and I mean, save the psychology for Michael Myers. I love the thing about Michael Myers is that he's just purely a psychopath. Like he does. You're not going to negotiate your way out of it. You're not going to do anything. He's just going to kill you. I guess Jason is the same way, but yeah, no, this not a great movie. So I guess you're probably wondering, where do I rank this?
Yeah, that's why we're here. This is your 84th movie. I'm glad you can. I didn't want this to deter you. I just want you to get to 4. Mainly because there's a couple. I want to talk about a couple things. And yes, Corey Feldman. It's again to me. And I don't. I mean, people can. Jason in Space was just more fun and whatever. But to me, 4 is the best one. I'm not saying it's going to change the world. I'm not going to say it's better than like Halloween or some of the Nightmare on Elm Streets. I almost said Nightmare Before Christmas. But that's a different kind of movie. But in the Friday the 13th series, I would say 4 is the best one. And I'm just going to leave it at that. So at least get the 4. After that, that's up to you, dude. You're not missing much, but it would get lower and lower, and you're like, you would question your sanity. But yes, where are we putting
I
part
mean,
two?
I do love that I have Slaughterhouse over Oppenheimer. That makes me laugh when I look at that. That's just insane. I mean, I'd probably watch this movie again, as bad as it is. Um, so I would say, man, you're gonna laugh at me.
They're all gonna laugh
Great
at
place
you.
for me. Because these are the movies I won't ever see again. So that's why I have these in kind of this order. Um, I would put this honestly at number 59.
All right, so underneath Insidious Chapter 3 and above Sing. You
Yeah.
know what? That's not a no, honestly, that's not too bad of a ranking. Because it
No, I mean it's not great, but I mean it's not like there are other movies that are not great, and I've seen a lot of them. I mean, I can't put Insidious, The Fred Door, and Last Key over this. Come on, those movies I'd never want to see again. But like, if you and I are hanging out, in one of our home theaters that we build, and you're like, hey, you want to have a couple beers and watch Friday the 13th Part 2? I'm not going to say no.
No, I agree. And like I said, I remember when I started the Blockbuster at Spitbrook Road. I think that's when I really rented. I think that's when I finished them all. Just kind of on DVD. The DVD said, and I kind of rewatched them and kind of stuck in my brain. I've seen a few more since. Some I will never watch again, and we'll get to that a little bit more. So
You just know which movies you'll never watch again. When you're watching it, you just know I'm never gonna watch this movie again. Like I will never ever watch Prisoners of the Ghostland ever again in my entire life. Same could be probably said for Hubie Halloween too. Oh, that was bad.
yeah.
Oh God, so bad.
But speaking about horror series, let me tell you about the final movie we were talking about in the second movie I saw. So I didn't know what I was going to watch. I think this was on Netflix maybe. I don't know where I went. Definitely this is not a Tubi movie. And it's a movie I known about, but I kind of forgot about. So that tells you how popular this is. And this movie is actually technically part of the Saw series. Now I know how much you love Saw. But it's its own entry. And I'll kind of explain that. But I saw the movie Spiral for 2021, starring Chris Rock. It's also
I saw a picture
from the
of
Book of
this.
Saw. So you've got
Yes,
that tag. So
yeah.
basically, there is no John Kramer, but his actions live in this world because it's the idea of a copycat killer in a way.
Is John Kramer the Jigsaw guy?
Jigsaw, correct. He was the main. He was the main one. So the Jigsaw Kramer, who's been in most of the movies because Saw has gone through 10, and one is technically a prequel, not including this. I don't think I've seen the last couple of them. I think I saw the first 7. So anyhow, yeah, I saw Spiral, and
universe.
Yes, there's this. Oh, we're going to be talking a lot of franchises Saturday. Get your beer ready because this could be a longer podcast. But anyhow, Spiral interested me because I was like, okay, I am a fan of Saw, and it's absurd plot. Yes, whatever. I kind of like everything. It's just like, give me the lore. But this, like I said, is its own thing. The only thing is that the Jigsaw, killer has happened in the universe because they reference him, but you don't need to see any of the Saw movies. So yes, Chris Rock, out of all fucking people, stars in this movie as a hard-nosed detective, and it's just kind of funny to me.
Chris Rock, the detective.
Okay. Him being a badass. Basically, quick backstory, like badass. But he hates everyone as his precinct because the quick backstory is that he had a partner who was a corrupt cop and who shot a witness, and Chris Rock basically told on it, just ratted him out, and which is the right thing to do, whatever. I mean, I'm gonna say it's the right thing to do. And obviously a lot of his coworkers at the office just have turned their backs on him because no one trusts him. So that's the quick thing. And yeah, so now there's this thing where people at the precinct are dying, and you kind of the same idea playing. Not it's like audio tapes instead of like the videotapes and stuff like that. But it's very similar to Jigsaw, except it's not like, hey, do this, and the whole idea of Jigsaw is like, will you survive? Can you do this to survive? Blah blah blah. They're just dying, and so yeah, he's trying to solve this. Samuel L. Jackson plays his fucking dad. I did not expect Samuel L. Jackson to be in this movie.
Jackson?
Yes. When I saw him in the credits, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I went all saying, I'm like, okay. Obviously a small role. But yes, he plays the father. And I gotta point this out, because especially since you're a fan of this. And so, they do little Easter eggs. And I kind of caught this because I wasn't supposed to catch this. But, when movie guys like us tend to watch things, we kind of watch more than what's going on right in front of us. And they're coming out of a door. And it's the Vincent Jules Company. There's a logo that says Vincent Jules. Yes, right on there. And that's it. It's the only time. And I'm laughing. I'm like, is this really the kind of movie you want to plug Pulp Fiction? Which I guess I appreciate it. Like, again, I got a little laugh at it, but I'm like, if you're watching Spiral,
on the nose. Yeah.
That was just there for Samuel L. Jackson. No other reason. Wow. But overall, I love the Saw movies, and I love it for its absurd plot. I love it for its traps. I mean, again, I know what I'm getting into, and this was just more of the people are kind of dying, and he's trying to figure it out why, and basically because of again, I'm not going to go the whole plot because the whole thing is a mess. But it has to do with obviously all the cops that have distrusted him, because in a weird way, this killer isn't going after him. He's helping him, Chris Rock, get back at all the people that's turned their back on him. And, basically, like, can he, forgive him, and can he do this? So it was very weird, because I'm like, why would the killer help the cop? And they tried to explain it. A lot of this, I mean, I will admit the kills are kind of okay. But a lot of this, so I will never see this again. Chris Rock
It sounded great.
Chris Rock's the best thing about this. And it's weird to say that about a movie that's not a comedy. Like, I love Chris Rock, but I will be honest, he's not the greatest actor. You don't think, man, let's go see a fucking Chris Rock. You might say, let's see a Chris Rock stand-up special. Chris Rock and Grown Ups 3, well, fine, let's go. You know what I mean? If you do not think of Chris Rock in this, the premise is there. I think this could have been a great standalone. There is no need for this to be part of the Saw universe, the Jigsaw universe, whatever you want to call it, because I think that hindered it. Like, you could just have this, creative way of, telling the story, even though there's certain scenes, again, we've watched so many of these, like one guy's walking out of the room, like, oh, I bet you this is going to come back. They're kind of playing this like a small part. You know how they do that? Like, you see something small, a minor line, but you've seen it so many times, you're like, nope. Always. Like, someone asked for his phone. He's like, oh, my phone's dead. And I'm like, that's going to come back. And it does. Mm-hmm. And again, I love the Saw universe, and Chris Rock was actually really good in this. And again, but I think the story as a whole was just like, it was meant to be a copycat killer. Again, someone just doing what Jigsaw did, and this just felt like a copycat movie. Like, we've seen this, nothing original. This did not make that franchise any better, and it's probably better for the Saw. Again, I know Saw is just crazy and out there as it is. But there's no need for this movie. Again, I felt like this just could have been standalone. They didn't really go into that connection at all outside of mentioning him and that. And then, yeah, this could have just been your typical, suspense thriller, figure out who done it. And you didn't need all that other bullshit. But yeah, I've forgotten so much about this already, and I just watched this a couple days ago. Like I said,
that says it all right there.
I mean, yeah, I have no need to watch this again. There's a couple I do want to catch up on, a couple other Saw movies that I just heard they're crap. Because I think I stopped watching Saw at 7, because I think that finished weirdly enough. Like, it kind of completed that absurd story that was going on and brought back a lot of shit from the original. And then they did a prequel, even though Tobin Bell got older, whatever. And then I think there's a Saw 10. I don't know. Again, I kind of quit after 7, but I saw this and I was just curious. But yeah, so you don't need to see any of the Saw movies to get you, Spiral, excuse me. but for the most part, there is nothing. Just it was unoriginal. But I love Chris Rock. It was just funny to see him in this, and I was like, damn, okay. That's all I gotta really say. There's really not much else to go on. There's no one else. Like I said, Samuel L. Jackson was just a welcome surprise, but he's only in a couple scenes. So now I will say this, Soto. This is my 90th movie. This is the 90th movie
Oh, that
I've
was
seen.
quick.
I say that
Oh,
because
that's a 90 overall. Yes.
yeah, overall.
Okay,
No,
gotcha.
no, 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 no. 90th overall. 90th overall movie. No. This is not. Trust me. This isn't.
Number
But
90.
no. This is not worse than some of that shit down there. My point being is, I think last week I reworked my 20s, and I kind of was looking at my 50s and 60s, and just kind of figuring out where this goes. And I'm going to say this right now. I am going to have to rework some of my 60s because I'm realizing some things are lower. I just have to sit down.
Oh, me too. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I'm at the point where a lot of things seem out of place, and
well,
because
we kind of put them down. We see how it feels, and
well, it's funny 'cause
that's it.
I see where Final Destination Bloodlines, and I'm thinking about, I'm like, it should be higher. I'm like, that was still enjoyable, and so I'm saying that because this is going in the 60s. This is actually going to be 61, but a lot of things are going to move here because I'm putting this above Minecraft movie. But I am putting this under the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because, again, I like Chris Rock. I'm not going to say I overly hated. I was with it, but I didn't feel much new. There wasn't a lot of originality. A lot of things underneath it. I'm like, yeah. So I'm putting it at 61 right now, but I'm telling you right now, next week, this area has got to change. My 50s and 60s. I'm very confident in my top 20, my top 30 now because I reworked that. But yeah, I'm looking at 90 movies. I'm like, I think things can become messed up. So it's sitting at 61 because I can deal with this more than I can deal with Minecraft. And that should.
I mean, what movie I'm looking at. My line of demarcation for you is where does this fall with the Ron Clark story?
Underneath.
That's where I'm always like, where's the Ron Clark story in this situation?
Which I don't get your hate for that. You didn't even.
I don't hate it. It's just such a oh my God, the Ron Clark story starring, I think, Matthew Perry?
Correct.
Right?
Based on a true guy, a real guy.
I remember the cover. So
it's
I
about
can picture the cover. And I'm just like, the Ron Clark story of all movies. I remember that at Blockbuster Video.
But it's a good I will say that is a good uplifting movie. It is. But yeah, no. I got to rework my 50s and 60s. I'm looking at things, and I'm going to say there's some big changes. So, but Toto, that does it for this episode. But I got one more piece of business to talk with you, and we talked about this last week. You know what's coming because of the timing.
I had this feeling,
because of the timing of when videos come out. By the next episode, we need to see Terrifier 3. It is time.
Oh, fuck, man.
Terrifier 3 is coming.
That's what I'm doing with my weekend. That's what I have to look forward to.
Yes. You can put you know what you can watch it second. It doesn't have to be your first movie. You can watch something. You can have a cleanser beforehand or a cleanser after. Hell, you might need both. You might watch 3 movies. I don't care when you watch this. But Terrifier 3 is in our future, and it's a little over 2 hours. I think it's 2 hours and 5 minutes or 2 hours and 2 minutes. I can't remember.
Why?
Because I don't know. Remember, the second one was 2:15, 2:20.
Oh my fucking God!
I'm trying to pull it up right now. Just because. Yep, 2 hours, 2 hours. So yeah, I wanted to. We talked about doing this for Christmas, but it all of a sudden became free, and it's like, might as well get it now because we don't want to lose it.
No.
But they are doing a 4th one next year.
Yeah.
So it's time. So which means our 200th movie we will talk about because we joked that it should be this. No, the time is now. So Terrifier 3 is in our future. Who knows what else? So we're doing it.
I'm definitely going to watch The Substance, that's for sure. That just came on HBO. It's got Demi Moore and but Terrifier 3 will be my top priority. As soon as Sarah goes to work on Saturday, I'm going to open up my beer and I'm going to watch Terrifier 3 just to get through it. I'm not going to do anything too hard, but this is going to be pretty brutal to watch. I'm not looking forward to it, but I'm sure I'll have thoughts.
So, yeah, I probably won't get to it by Saturday. I would like to, because if we talk about franchises, I know tomorrow I'm going to be busy, and then Saturday, but after work, we got our podcast.
I don't want to do this.
So, I know you don't want to, But you,
I know, but I have.
you
Yeah.
committed this because again, I watched the first Terrifier, and then we were like, fuck it on the second, and you knew this is the journey. This is the main story of this 200 movie challenge. Us going through the Terrifier. So let me backtrack.
It is.
Hold on, I gotta look back on my second page. The first Terrifier I talked about in episode 2. It was the 7th overall movie that we talked about. I want you to think back.
Wow.
That's how far. Terrifier 2 we did on our 3rd episode because you joined me, and that was our 12th overall movie. So I don't know where this is going to fall because right now we've combined done 167. So
Yeah.
around 170.
Yeah.
But that's how long ago. And we've been waiting for Terrifier 3 to become free, and now it's free.
I've been dreading it. I've been dreading
Yes,
it this whole time.
And you could have said no, you didn't have to join me for Terrifier 2, but you did. That now
We
binds
had
you
to.
for
Now-
Terrifier 3. Oh, I was going to do this. I was down this road anyways. I know you saw the first last year, and we talked about the
No.
brutality. But I don't know the
No.
second film. And I got like 2 weeks left of coaching, so that's going to free up so much time for me now to be able to do a little bit more watching. So that's going to be the other good thing. I can get some more movies or other things done too. But anyhow, excuse me, heartburn. That does it, Soto. That is the episode 35 of the 200 movie challenge. Yes, Terrifier 3 will be next week. Any thoughts, Soto?
Okay. Ready.
Any prayers? You're ready.
I'm ready. I'm glad I'm getting it out of the way so that I don't have to watch it for the rest of the year. It won't be like hanging over my head.
It won't be a Christmas film for us, which was a thought.
No, if it, but to your point, we don't know when these things are going to disappear. So the time is right. It's Halloween. It's October. Let's fucking do it, man. It's perfect too because we're heading towards the finale of
This.
what this fucking project has been. Now that I look at it, I'm like, my fucking god, the amount of films that have been watched. I know there are people who are obsessive about movies and watch movies like this every day, but like when you are older and you have a job and you have a life and you have family and you have commitments and you're blessed to have friends, it is fucking. Oh, and also you like sports. It's very difficult to get a movie in these days. You have to plan for it. You're like, nope, I'm doing this on this day, and it's all gonna work out. You know, so much goes into it, but I'm sure we'll dissect and analyze this fucking experiment at the end of the year. So,
oh yeah, no, I already have. It's going to be one of our Saturday podcasts. We'll do it live, and I already know. I'm just going to put all 200 thumbnails, pictures, and just have it repeat. Those are it's just going to flash behind us as we talk, and that's about it. And we'll just dissect how you just not just the movies, but just how this whole project went. But yeah, so I have a notebook, like I said, and everything's in order. It helps with editing. I mean, it's just funny. It's just funny to think, and it's funny to again. We joke about no one's watching, but there's some movies that somehow just got a lot of clicks, views. I know that's just people probably popping on for 30 seconds to a minute and leaving. And our top ones are very random, but that's a story for another day. Because I know I send you screenshots sometimes. I'm like, how is this our top?
oh yeah,
Because you know what?
makes no sense.
Anyhow, we're gonna end this. But I will talk to you a little. Anyhow, join us again next week. Again, if you are listening to this, just comment the movie. We'll watch it as long as we haven't seen it, and it's free. Until next time, watch good. You know what? Go watch Terrifier 3. Watch it with us.
Yeah,
Press play.
just hit play on. Yeah, just do it.
Soto doesn't want to press play on that shit.
I don't. I really don't.